Here from the Crane Fall Wood Bat Championship game. This is the fifth and final game of the Crane Fall Wood Bat Tournament Championship. You guys saw one half inning of it, from the last stream, which was supposed to be ending with the interview before the game, but so far Morrisville has four runs, 4-0 Morrisville over Conway. Once again, I'm Adam Smith, joined by the assistant coach of the Galena Bears, John Z. Martin.
Hello there. We're catching you here in the bottom of the first, and we have a 4-0 game, and that basically was brought to you by 4 straight base hits by the Morrisville Panthers in the 21. Top of the first.
Logan, 4. Runner advances on that wild ball, and he's going to be off to the races as he rounded second, now stopping at third, so something's cooking now for these Conway Bears. What are you going to be seeing out of this game between Conway and Morrisville?
I think we're going to see a high-scoring contest here. Both these teams have battled all week long, and they've used some great pitchers. I think it's time to see their bats go to work.
Bats go to work. It's going to be a action-packed offensive game here for the final game and final day of the Crane Fall Wood Bat Tournament. Only won the count with 1 out here to Logan Fort, the left fielder for the Conway Bears. These two teams coming from big semifinal game wins. Conway coming into this game winning 10-4 over Crane, and Marion C. Early Morrisville winning big 19-3 over Galena. Sorry to pour that bad look on you, Coach Martin.
Actually, I'm gonna stop you right there, Adam. It's actually 18-3 because the minute that 18th run past the plate, that's the end of the game. So I'm gonna take that run back just to make sure that we don't look quite as bad as that.
18-3 was that final score between Morrisville and Galena. Galena had 1 run, but once you got to that bottom of the second inning, it was all Morrisville. 1-2 on Fort as the ball gets away, and the runner does not advance. So what did you see out of that last game between Crane and Galena?
It was a good battle. I think that the Pirates opening up there and getting started early is what really helped them. The Bears battled back in the bottom of the second, but then the Pirates really piled on there in the third with a big inning that put things a little bit out of reach.
Ball slapped as it was bobbled but dropped, but it's going to be out number 2 for these Conway Bears. It's going to bring up Jimmy Shockley, the center fielder for the Conway Bears. Center fielder number 9, Jimmy Shockley. Jimmy Shockley, the man to greet the starting pitcher for Morrisville. That is Joshua Bumgarner, same name as Giants pitcher Madison Bumgarner.
Yeah, one of our players over at Galena was in the dugout on Thursday night made that connection too. Or it may have actually been Coach Tim Townsend is the one that made that connection. He wasn't pitching against us, of course, but he liked the name anyway.
We saw a Harper here I believe that was from Wheaton, when Wheaton played Spokane earlier today, as that one was going to be, I believe that was Tim Harper, I think, or Trey Harper from Wheaton. I'll have to look back at it, so if I do, I will tell you. That was Peyton Harper. A little bit of a connection to the national slugger Bryce Harper.
Yeah, I bet he didn't quite have the muscle that Bryce does, but same way this Bumgarner here, he has handled those Conway Bears pretty well here, just giving up 1 run in the bottom of the first. That's going to take us to the top of the second, where we have the Marion C. Early Panthers leading the Conway Bears 4-1.
Hey, 3 Rogers are in. Well, they're probably feeding in from this game. What's up?
How's it going, man, dog?
Not much. Do you have anybody playing on Thursday night?
Some music on.
Okay.
had Josh Gordon.
Oh yeah, I heard he got released by the Browns now.
Yeah.
Who's gonna be the starting? Who's
I
gonna be the
also
starting
have
quarterback?
Carson Wentz and Le'Veon Bell, so that's already telling you how my fantasy team's going so far.
Wow. Good lord.
Marshawn Lynch.
You need some Kareem Hunt in that lineup, dude.
Tyreek Hill. Probably like
I
Tom
did
Brady.
not have anybody Thursday.
Oh, you don't? Or you didn't?
I did not.
I wonder who's gonna be the starting quarterback for Cleveland. You think they're gonna give it to Baker Mayfield?
Browns?
Yeah.
It's gonna be that kid from Oklahoma.
Baker starting?
Or what happened to Tyrod?
I don't know. They may
He
have.
retired. I think.
What?
Did he? I don't know, because he is getting pretty old.
All right, here we go. This is
How old
25.
he was? He had like the most
25.
yards
John Presley, the designated hitter.
in the NFL or
Number 25, John Presley leading off for the top of inning number 2. Here in the top of inning number 2, as you know, this Marion C. Early team was on Sky Newcomb's show, the Scoreboard Guy show on Jock 98.7 there in Springfield. Shout out to Guy Newcomb or Scoreboard Guy for having the Marion C. Early Panthers on there, as that base hit's going to reset the line. It's going to bring up Garrett Trantham. Second baseman, number 3, Garrett Trantham.
anything in this game.
I think they're skipping a batter.
No, Hampton's he's not batting.
Where did their catcher,
Ooh, I don't know.
number 7, Hayden Ryan?
You meant to say Braden Grant.
No, Hayden Ryan is their catcher.
1-0 count on Trantham, the leadoff man for these Morrisville Panthers. And what's your scouting report on this man of Garrett Trantham?
Well, he struck out in the first, but I tell you what, man, Crumpley has these Panthers ready to hit. They are hitting the baseball in this tournament.
Hitting the baseball in this tournament, they have definitely dominated in this tournament, as this team is playing with a lot of fire. From what I saw from the very first game of this fall season when they took on Crane that at their place up there in Polk County, even though it was a loss for my alma mater of Crane, this team can really slug the baseball all over the field. Do you guys get to play Morrisville after this Crane tournament?
I don't think we do. I don't remember for sure, but I don't think we have them on our schedule.
Center fielder, number 6, Austin Franska. Austin Franska now going to be coming up for his second plate appearance, as we're going to see a mound visit by head coach Clay Ballou from these Conway Bears, pardon me. Conway from Laclede County, just between Marshfield and Lebanon on I-44. Morrisville is between Springfield and Bolivar, kind of right around Brighton, could you say?
Yeah, it's pretty close to there. So kind of in between Walnut Grove and Bolivar and all that. I mean, it's just kind of up in that area. Tell you a funny story about Coach Harmon and Conway. I remember when I was playing for Coach Harmon, whenever I was in high school, and it kind of involves his wife a little bit too, but I think she'll forgive me. We were driving up for the game, and he was a little irritated because I think one of our players showed up late to the baseball field for us to leave to go up there. And on the way up there, I remember the comment made by his wife is, if your players don't make it there alive, it doesn't matter if you get there or not. So she wanted him to slow down. So it was a pretty funny time.
Never a dull moment. If you're in high school baseball, you'll get some good stories to come out of high school ball. As this man, Austin Franska, is going to swing and crack one foul. And now with these guys going back to the aluminum bats after this Crane Fall Wood Bat Tournament, is it going to be a struggle, or is there going to be an advantage for all these players that are coming out of the Crane Fall Wood Bat Tournament?
It kind of depends. If they keep their swings nice and easy, they're going to find that they're going to hit the ball really well. But if they go out there knowing, hey, I have a little bit more power behind my swing now, since I have a little bit different composition of my bat, then you're going to see some pop-ups. You're probably going to see some weak ground balls because they're going to overswing.
Swing slapper. Gobbled up by the shortstop, and is going to throw out the man at third to save a run. That's going to bring up Hayden Grant, the third baseman for these Morrisville Panthers. Third baseman number 5, Hayden Grant. Hayden Grant, the third baseman tonight for these Marion C. Early Panthers. Now, Coach John Z. Martin, what do you say about Hayden Grant? What have you seen so far from this guy's big bat?
Well, I tell you, he definitely has some power. He just kind of flared one there that, unfortunately, the shortstop for the Bears took in and was able to double the man off second base and wrap up this top half of the inning. But I tell you, that young man can hit the ball a long way, and we saw that Thursday night against the Galena Bears. And so we'll see what he can do later on in the night. I'm sure he'll have many more chances to step up to the plate and plate some runs.
I'll make a quick announcement about the live stream. If you have any loved ones that can't make it to Crane from Marion C. Early, Morrisville, or Conway, we are streaming this game on Ozarks Sports Report YouTube channel. So if you have any loved ones that you're thinking of that want to watch any players from Conway or Morrisville, be sure to let them know that this game is streamed live on the Ozarks Sports Report YouTube channel. What song's playing?
Leaders.
That's the only one you got?
No, I have a lot of songs.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't see that Grant can get out.
He's a beast.
Who's that?
And what he set the
Grant.
Class 2 single season home run record last year. Yeah, it's my understanding.
Wow. I knew he had 11. Somehow it still wasn't all state.
Yeah. How does that happen?
Leading off the bottom of the second inning for these Conway Bears, the designated hitter number 4, Tanner Simpson.
I guess it's tough when you don't make it out of your district.
Welcome back to Tootie Parsons Memorial Stadium as we kick off the bottom half of inning number 2. Just missed a half inning of play for these Morrisville Panthers. That was the top half of inning number 1. That was streamed with no volume as we were waiting on the winning coach from the last game. That was head coach Brian Harmon, the man who was hosting this huge tournament here in Crane. Once again, I'm Adam Smith alongside the assistant coach for Galena, head assistant coach John Z. Martin. And he will be taking on Purdy, and then he'll take on Crane once again. What's going to be the firepower that you're going to be bringing against Crane, Coach Martin?
Well, hopefully renewed pitching staff after this weekend. It'd be good to get some of the guys at the top of the rotation back, and hopefully go out there and throw some strikes and see what we can do to get these pesky Pirates out. Because I tell you, it's a good lineup. It's tough out, no matter where you are.
3-2 the count now on the designated hitter Simpson as he strikes out, and that will bring up Hayden Graves, the third baseman for these Conway Bears. Third baseman number 10, Hayden Graves. Hayden Graves here from Conway. What have you seen from this Conway lineup? What have you seen from Hayden Graves when you guys played Conway back at your place in Galena?
I actually didn't get to see that. I wasn't at that game, so I didn't get to see what they did there. I know that it wasn't that there was one infield hit until the 7th inning for those Bears. So Luke Burke was able to hold them pretty much in check. But then I'm not for sure exactly what he would have done in the 8th. I know that there was a little bit more scoring in that inning than any of the others. So we'll see what he does here and kind of get a report on him.
That 3-1 pitch is going to be swung on and fouled. That's going to go up near the roof of the grandstand, over the grandstand of Tootie Parsons Memorial Stadium. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here's that 3-2 pitch, swing on, and that ball is going to be fouled. back to the screen once again. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And you guys play another tough SWCL team. That's going to be Purdy. That's going to be at Purdy. They're a newcomer that is coming out of the Ozarks 7. Have you guys played Purdy while they were in their old conference of the Ozarks 7?
Sure, we played Purdy last year. I remember watched them play, and it was one of our tougher games of the spring. In the regular season, just because they have so much ability with their bats to at any point just strike and have a big inning. And we saw that earlier today whenever they had a big inning against the Hartville Eagles, as they were able to take fifth place.
6, Andrew Dane.
And of course, we'll play him on Monday and see what we can do. We'll have one of our top 2 pitchers throwing, I'm sure, and see if we can't get a W in the SWCL.
That's one thing that those Galena Bears want to see come out of the SWCL is they will play their newcomers of Purdy. 1 ball, no strikes on. That's going to be Andrew Dame. Apparently, I think he might be the brother of Hunter Dame, if I'm not mistaken. Hunter Dame, a former Conway Bear now who's pitching collegiately at Missouri State there in Springfield. That does sound right. Have you seen Hunter Dame pitch when he was at Conway?
I sure haven't. In fact, the only time I watched them play was when they played Crane on Thursday. So, and I kind of watched that game, but I was visiting a lot with people and didn't get a chance to see much. But other than, of course, the big inning they had, so he was able to get an infield hit there. But this next hitter, Grant Corneliuson.
Grant Corneliuson, the batter for the. Grant Corneliuson, the batter for these Conway Bears. Conway, pretty far out east. I'd say about a good 45 miles northeast of Springfield as you head up towards the St. Louis area. Morrisville, just north of Springfield. So these 2 teams play in the Summit Conference. So, what's this one thing with Marion C. Early, Morrisville in the Summit Conference, because they have to go out east for most of their conference games.
Yeah, they do have to travel. I know that they're probably the ones that have traveled the most. They have Fordland and, of course, the Conway Bears. I'm struggling to remember who else is in that conference, but I know that most of them are along Highway 60 or even up on I-44 like Conway.
Even up on I-44 in Conway, but also another one is Gainesville, which is all the way down at the Arkansas line. That will bring up Hayden Wright, the catcher. Catcher number 7, Hayden Wright. Hayden Wright, the catcher for these Conway Bears. 4-1 Morrisville. As Conway got to scratch in 1 run here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. That was back in the bottom of the first when they got their first run in of the ball game. 2 outs here on Hayden Wright. The first pitch to him upstairs, and that's going to be a ball at 1-0.
Yeah, got 2 outs. He's going to look to see if he can't drive something in and get a little closer to this Panther team before we change batters here.
1-0 count, swung on and missed, and that's going to make it now an even 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 outs here between Conway and Morrisville. 1-1 the count. The 1-1 pitch takes a strike, and that one's going to be 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, as Morrisville is looking to get that final out and get back in the dugout.
Got him down 1-2 right here, and he strikes him out with a good inside pitch. It's always good for a pitcher to be able to go inside, move that hitter off the plate, and that's what he did right there and got him to swing. And after 2, we still have a score of Morrisville 4 and the Conway Bears 1.
Hands are getting sweaty.
I'm gonna head out, guys.
All right, man. See you on Tuesday.
Yep, I'll see you guys.
I'll be live streaming from Galena.
Alright.
I need some better music.
Yeah. Got some clean rap music.
Not really.
You don't listen to rap?
Not so much.
Well, you can play some classic rock or moderate rock or something like that.
Yeah.
Or pop.
There we go. You got it turned up.
What we gotta like?
Happy. That's
Happy from Despicable Me.
yeah.
How come it's not playing? Oh, you turned it up on your phone?
Oh, that might be it.
Was that? Holy smokes.
This thing is not
Sorry about that.
working very well.
Good lord. Let's turn it down so we don't blast anybody's
That's
ears
why it wasn't
down.
working. Yeah.
Oh, this is 23. Leading off top of the third inning for the Morrisville Marion Sierra League Panthers, the pitcher number 23, Joshua Bumgarner. Welcome back to Tootie Parsons Memorial Stadium for the third inning between these two teams of Conway and Morrisville. These two respectively represent the Summit Conference League. That's out east and north of Springfield. First pitch is going to be slapped and going to roll foul 0-2. Once again, I'm Adam Smith, joined by the assistant coach of the Galena Bears, John Z. Martin. And Coach, do you get to play any more Summit Conference players or Summit Conference teams this fall?
I know we play. I'm pretty sure we do play Fordland. That's about it, though.
Does it have a team?
Oh, that's right. Fordland does not have a team. Fordland and Sparta both, and Hurley, all without teams this fall, which kind of threw a wrinkle here because we were supposed to have a fourth site. Billings was supposed to host one of the pools, and Billings had to come to Crane, and ended up having I think 4 teams here instead of 3. So they had to change format just a little bit, but still a great tournament. One of the best wood bat tournaments in the area here in the fall. And here we have an 0-2 count still. Still number 23, the pitcher Joshua Bumgarner at the plate. He was able to reach on an infield single in the first inning. We'll see what he can do here in the top of the third.
Top of the third as he'll swing and slap one to the shortstop. Throw on to first, and no worries, says the Conway infield, as they will get the first out. And that will bring up the first baseman of Dylan Blem. First baseman number 13, Dylan Blem. Dylan Blem, the first baseman for these Marion Sierra League Panthers. And what did you see from Dylan Blem from the last inning of play?
Yeah, Dylan Blem, he hit a rocket down the first base line that scored one. It had an RBI on it in the first inning, and he was able to turn it into a double on that ball down the line.
1 ball, 1 strike on Dylan Blem. He is the first baseman for these Marion Sierra League Panthers as he watches one pitch go in at 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out. Anybody who wants to know on the scores from Major League Baseball or Missouri teams, the St. Louis Cardinals were defeated by the Los Angeles Dodgers by a score of 17-4 from Busch Stadium there in St. Louis. And if we can, we will get John Z to give you guys the score from the Kansas City Royals as they played, believe, in Kauffman Stadium. As we will let Coach Martin do that. We'll give him some time to give him the score. For any of you Royals fans, here it is.
Looks like KC is leading 8-2. That is in the top of the. Excuse me. Looks like they're going to the bottom of the 7th inning.
Going to the bottom of the 7th inning there in Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. So it looks like it's a positive note for for our Kansas City Royals fans. So what do you think is going to be seen out of this Kansas City Royals team this year?
Now they're pretty much cashing in, but I tell you what, Alex Gordon just had a 3-for-4, 5 RBI a night, and he's not done yet. We'll see what he does in the last couple innings up in Kaufman.
With that, 2 outs, and it's been a rebuilding year for these Kansas City Royals as it's going to bring up Braden Grant, the catcher. Catcher number 14, Braden Grant. Braden Grant, the catcher for these Marion C. Early Morrisville Panthers. If you watched the last game between Crane and Galena, before this game, there was a ceremonial first pitch between Colby Smith, a former Crane Pirate, and now a graduate who is now a U.S. Marine. So we thank him for his service, and we wish him the best of luck down his journey as he goes out to serve our country. So we give him all the best of wishes from Ozarks Sports Report and tell him to go tear it up out there. This will bring up the right fielder Levi Nelson for these Panthers. Right fielder number 9, Levi Nelson. Levi Nelson, the batter, as he'll swing and slap one on to first, and there's going to be the final out of the inning. So no runs on no base hits, no errors, and 2 men were left on. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. It is a 4-1 Morrisville lead over Conway. All right, music time.
Yeah.
You got both Domino's and Pizza Hut?
Yeah.
All right.
This cord has a short in it.
Nah, I bet it does. Wow, 20, almost 30 minutes into this live stream. It'll be a short one tonight, short live stream.
Yeah, this one's going pretty quick.
Oh yeah.
Pitcher's doing better than I thought they might.
I thought it was going to be an all offensive game. And this is 11. Leading off the bottom of the 3rd inning for the Conway Bears, the shortstop number 11, Colby Vavruska. Welcome back to Tootie Parsons Memorial Stadium as we kick off the bottom half of inning number 3. Colby Vavruska, the shortstop for these Conway Bears. And Coach Martin, what have you seen done at the plate? What did Vavruska do in his last plate appearance for the Bears?
He had a ground out in the first, and he's going to look to try to get these Bears started. They need to score some runs here. Need to try to get back in this a little bit. It's definitely not too late. They just got to get some base runners.
1 ball, 1 strike on Vavruska as he will make it now 2 balls and 1 strike as he manages to get ahead. Now, what is it that on their pitchers to get ahead, or their batters to get ahead in the count?
Yes, Adam, I'm sorry. I think they just want to make sure that they're, they want to be aggressive on the first pitch, but at the same
Pitcher
time,
number
if it's
12,
a ball, they don't want to
Chase Caffey.
chase anything out of the zone big time. So now pitchers, on the other hand, you want to always try to throw that first pitch strike. If you can do that, you're going to be a very successful pitcher.
Definitely will be in good shape if you throw that first pitch strike. Chase Caffey, the starting pitcher for these Conway Bears, as he looks at strike 1 on the, looks like the outside corner. Now, first pitch strikes as Baumgartner did get the first pitch strike. What have you seen? Like, what kind of velocity have you seen from Baumgartner?
See, he's bringing it pretty well. I'd say he's somewhere in the mid to upper 70s on a consistent basis. Has some good movement on his pitch, but that's probably about where he is. He's done pretty well so far. Only held these Conway Bears to just 1 run.
2 balls and 1 strike on Caffey, the starting pitcher. So pitcher versus pitcher. The pitcher for Conway up to the plate as he will swing and miss. Waved at it, and it's going to be now 2 balls and 2 strikes between these two, the batter and the pitcher.
There we go. That's a good pitch on the outside corner right there, trying to get him to chase, or just off the outside corner. We have Steve Hunter up as the home plate umpire, legendary basketball coach, the Ozarks Tigers, and Baumgartner is able to get him to swing and miss on a 2-2 pitch.
Left fielder number 21, Logan Fort.
And that'll do it for Chase Caffey in the bottom of the 3rd.
Bottom of the 3rd inning, as that will now bring up Logan Fort, the batter for these Conway Bears. First pitch inside on him, and it's going to be a ball, one ball, no strikes. Definitely one thing to get ahead. Thing is about Baumgartner is he is very quick in between pitches.
He's working quick out there, which always keeps your defense ready. Doesn't give him any time to lose focus, so that's always good. If you're a fielder, you want your pitcher to work quick so you can be ready to go.
Now, doesn't that also have a disadvantage when you work quick in between pitches?
It can. If you're too quick, and you don't slow down enough to focus. Sometimes you get too amped up and don't breathe. But as far as I'm concerned, I always like to see my pitchers work a little faster.
Jimmy Shockley. Jimmy Shockley now up to the plate, as he's had a good night tonight at the dish, hasn't he?
Well, he had a good at bat. He saw some pitches, struck out in the first, but he's ready to go here with a runner on first that takes off, and Logan Fort's going to steal second on that pitch.
Now they have watered the field here, as it's been very dirty. It's been dry and dusty tonight. So now with the field, with a little bit of moisture now on the field, thanks to the watering hose, doesn't that make it? What are the advantages? What are the difficulties and the strengths that players would have from a wet field as opposed to a dry and dusty field?
It's going to give you a little more traction, as long as it doesn't get too wet, obviously. But looks like Coach Harmon and his staff did a great job in between games. It's going to slow the ball down just slightly, but it's evaporating so fast. We're still pretty hard and fast here on this infield, making it a little more difficult for the infielders to get to balls that they have to range either way. We've seen some plays here tonight.
Now with the awesome ground crew here at Tootie Parsons Memorial Stadium, which is, of course, the Crane Pirates, would you put Tootie Parsons Memorial Stadium up against some big league fields like, say, Busch Stadium or AT&T Park, Fenway Park, Kauffman Stadium, Yankee Stadium, you name it?
Yeah, I don't know about that. They got a long way to go there, but these guys do a great job of getting the field ready. As a player and a coach, that's kind of your responsibility, unless you are at a bigger school and you have the opportunity to have someone that takes care of your field. That falls to you. So you have to do the job, you have to do the work, make sure that everything's level and ready to go. And we just had a strikeout here to end the bottom of the 3rd. That's going to take us to the top of the 4th, as we still have the Morrisville Panthers leading 4-1.
Music time?
Yeah, so it should still be playing, I think.
You don't have a passcode on, do you? Crap. Oh, it's clickable?
Yeah.
Oh, just like my old one?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So let's see what's there. Let's play. Well, I probably think Crane's coming up. Thunder.
I was dreaming of bigger things and wanna leave my old life
blast anybody's eardrums out. Those, when you sit right next to those speakers, those are loud.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. I said, yeah, for sure. Be glad I was sitting out there earlier. It wasn't too bad, but.
We're going to have to get back on. Hold that, please, while I... Leading off the top of the fourth inning for the Morrisville Panthers, number 4, the shortstop, Ty Haynes. Back here at Tootie Parsons Memorial Stadium as we kick off the top half of inning number 4 as Ty Haynes will hit by the pitch to start it off. And that will bring up a big guy of John Presley, the designated hitter, as... Hold on a second, we got a pass ball, but Haynes was instructed to retreat back to first. Designated hitter number 25, John Presley.
Yeah. So he was hit by the pitch. So the minute he gets hit by the pitch, that's a dead ball, and he has his way to first. But past that, that pitch is dead until the pitcher toes the rubber and gets ready to make his pitch toward home.
Now, as you came into Crane, you saw this C with the white outline. What do you think of that there behind the backstop?
I think that's pretty cool. Coach Harmon's done a good job here to try to make this park, for Crane, and see some of the things there. Good hit by John Presley. That's going to be a double, and it is going to score a run. Yeah, just crosses the plate. That's going to make it a 5-1 lead for the Panthers.
That 5-1 lead is going to bring up the second baseman, number 3, Garrett Trantham. Garrett Trantham now the batter as he has that 5-1 advantage for these Morrisville Panthers. As we move to the second half of the baseball game, here in the top half of inning number 4, already one run has already come across the plate thanks to that huge double by John Presley. As you know, size matters in baseball, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, obviously you can have some more strength and everything, but I tell you, I've seen some little guys that have done the job today too. I mean, you think of a guy like Chase Conrad, and he's a pretty small package, but he can hit the ball, out to the deep parts of the outfield without any problem. Got another single there, and we got runners at first and third with no outs.
Center fielder number 6, Austin Franska. Now Austin Franska, the batter for these Marion C. Early Morrisville Panthers. And he's got a huge advantage, 5-1 Morrisville, here in the top of inning number 4. So, as we move on to the bottom of inning number 4, what's Conway going to have to do to answer back? Is the phone ringing there in that first base dugout?
Well, they're, being a long week, they're going to be lower on pitching, and they're going to try to get this one to go as long as he can. And but the thing they want to do here is stop the bleeding. See if they can't. Hold this, get a couple outs here. They could get a double play up the middle, and then just give up one more run. It'd still be a 6-1 lead for the Panthers, but definitely they want to stop the bleeding here and limit the damage in the the top of the 4th.
Here, bottom of the 4th. Oh yeah, top of the 4th. 1-0 the count on Austin Franska, the center fielder for these Marion C. Early Morrisville Panthers. 1 ball, no strikes on Franska. Once again, he started this game out in center field. Now, what's Morrisville going to have to do going into the bottom of the 4th, taking the field?
Well, they're going to want to. Their pitcher's been doing a good job. He's 2 scoreless innings now after he gave up that run in the first. He's going to want to continue that success and see if he can't shut down this Conway Bear team, who does have some firepower once they get it going.
2-0 is now going to be 3 balls and no strikes now on Austin Franska, pardon me. And with head coach Justin Crumpley, everything is cooking right in that Panthers kitchen, isn't it?
It seems to be they're on a roll right now. Of course, I know the first game of the year they took care of the Pirates, which is not an easy task, but they've been rolling here lately. And
third baseman number 5, Hayden Grant.
They certainly have a strong offense that if you can't get control of that, it's going to be a tough night for you.
Coach Clay Blue goes out to the mound, and we're going to see a pitching change as 1, 2, 3 players are now going to the dugout. So we'll see a pitching change here. And who will it be? Who do you think is going to be coming up to pitch for those Conway Bears?
Looks like we might have Andrew Dame here. I'm not sure. Either that or number 9. Yep, looks like it's going to be number 9, Jimmy Shockley. He's coming in from center field. He is a tall, I'd say he's probably 6'2", 6'3", and looks like he can come over the top and bring some heat here.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for your Conway Bears, number 9, Jimmy Shockley. Now with Jimmy Shockley now coming up to the mound to relieve the bleeding for Chase Caffey. Where do you think Shockley, or where do you think Caffey will go to after his work is done?
That's what I'm trying to check out here. I think he's going to third base. Looked like we had a couple new guys going, maybe one guy going in the outfield, and we have a new first baseman. That's going to be number 10, Hayden Graves. He is nope, wrong about that. He's coming over from third base, and he's going to play first now.
Playing first for Hayden Graves, and I actually got to see this team of Conway, and they played Morrisville at Morrisville. It was before Crane took the field to play Morrisville in the later stages of the spring season before districts was starting, and it was a different Conway team that I saw playing at Morrisville. I don't know if you've ever been to Morrisville. It's an interesting ballpark, isn't it?
Yeah, they have if I'm remembering right, right field's pretty short, and so you can get opposite field homers. If there's a lefty, if you have a lefty in your lineup, he might have a big day. But it is an interesting field. A lot of runs scored usually, if I remember right, in that field. And it's been a while, but it is a place that's a little different to play.
Swinging a pop-up that's going to go into the center field. That's going to be the shortstop who's going to get that one. And it's going to be now quickly a 1-out for the new pitcher, Jimmy Shockley. And we are going to see number 23. That will be Joshua Bumgarner, the starting pitcher. Pitcher number 23, Joshua Bumgarner. Joshua Bumgarner, the starting pitcher who's taken over for these Marion C. Early Morrisville Panthers. First pitch to him is going to be outside, and it's going to be taken for a ball, 1 ball, and no strikes. So, what's this one thing? What have you seen that's good and bad from Joshua Bumgarner?
Well, he's been doing a great job on the mound. He's 1 for 2 at the plate. He got on in the first with an infield single, and then in the second inning he struck out. But he's looking to rebound from that strikeout here and see if he can't drive in some runs with bases loaded. 1 out here in the top of the 4th, and that's going to be a looper down the left field line in front of the left fielder, and that is going to plate 1. That's going to be number 25 scoring, John Presley on that.
First baseman number 13, Dylan Blim. Dylan Blim now the batter for the Marion C. Early Morrisville Panthers. Morrisville coming to this game with a record of 6-1. Now with that, I mistakenly said that Galena was undefeated coming into that game against Morrisville. I never knew. I thought they may have beaten Conway at your guys' place. So you could always correct me if I'm wrong.
No, we did come into the tournament undefeated, but we did lose in pool play. We lost that second game to Conway, only giving up 2 runs though, so that allowed us to edge our way into the championship bracket ahead of the Purdy Eagles.
Into the championship bracket ahead of Purdy. Now, what do you think Purdy's going to have to do to rebound back to hopefully get a win against Galena? I'm not saying that it could happen. Or it's going to happen, but it could happen. There's no way telling it. What do you think Purdy's going to have to do to rebound since they got a win today against Hartville?
Yeah, I think Purdy throwing strikes is going to be big for them coming in, or they'll be at their place against Galena on Monday. But just making sure they throw strikes and do the job at the plate. They're such a strong hitting team. That was a double down the line, a single, but that's going to score 2 runs for the Morrisville Panthers. We now have first and third with 1 out, and that's going to bring number 14, Braden Grant, to the plate, the catcher.
Catcher number 14, Braden Grant. Now with that, with their first baseman of Dylan Blinn there on first, after that 2-run single with 1 run coming across the plate for these Morrisville Panthers, Marion City early Morrisville Panthers. What MLB player would you compare Blinn to?
He's a lefty bat. He's got a strong bat. He's so far tonight, he has a double down the right field line, and then now he just had that two RBI single. So he's on 3 RBI night so far. So I'm saying someone like maybe a big city Matt Adams. He's going to get you some RBIs and help you score some runs in this game.
Hit better than that, as Braden Grant's going to be hit by the pitch, pardon me, and that's going to bring up Levi Nelson now, the right fielder. Right fielder number 9, Levi Nelson. Levi Nelson, the right fielder for these Morrisville Panthers, and with the bat coming from a right fielder, what do you expect? What does a coach usually expect from their right fielder who's at the plate?
They're looking for him to just do something to help the team. Get on base, move runners over. Right here, it'd be a good thing for him to do. Even a ground ball the other way could score that run at home plate. That's what he's going to want him to do right now.
As the sun's already completely down now, it is just after 9 o'clock here on this Saturday afternoon. It's going to bring up Ty Haynes after Nelson strikes out. Shortstop number 4, Ty Haynes. Ty Haynes, the batter, as he will swing and miss. Or swung and miss, didn't he?
Yeah.
Swing and miss on that one at 0-1. So, with Ty Haynes, he is a shortstop. And a shortstop, you can see a lot of power from a shortstop, couldn't you?
You can, for sure. Especially in the major leagues these days, that's kind of a position you're looking for some power from, is your shortstop. He was hit by pitch to lead off this inning, so this is we've batted around. This is the second time to bat. Now we have 2 outs here in the top of the 4th, and Mr. Haynes is looking to add on to this lead a little bit with the bases loaded.
1-2, ball scoots away, and that was going to score Bumgarner, but he retreated. Now, was that a good idea to put on the brakes as you left third heading for home?
Yeah, Crane's a tough place to score from third on because of the concrete barrier back there, because it's going to bounce back most of the time to the catcher. So you want to be real careful about that. You want to look for it to scoot off one way or the other to get in there.
As Haynes struck out, and that will win the top half of inning number 4, but 4 runs have already come across the diamond for these Morrisville Panthers. They now lead 8-1 over Conway. Music time.
Should still be playing, I think. Let's do this.
The Boston.
Yeah.
There you go. You need to make a baseball playlist, yeah.
Could have run roll here.
Huh?
That's possible if we had.
That's possible, yeah. Conway's gonna have to score. They're gonna have to claw their way back in,
Yeah.
like how they did against Crane.
Yeah. Yeah, they really turned it on in that
Oh yeah.
6th inning. That was
Oh my word.
probably
Yeah.
the best inning they've had all year, quite honestly.
Did we talk a lot about Morrisville?
bit.
This is coming up. This will be 4. That is Tanner Simpson, the designated hitter.
He struck out in his only at bat.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they only have an infield hit.
Wow. Leading off the bottom of the 4th inning for the Conway Bears, the designated hitter number 4, Tanner Simpson. Welcome back to Tootie Parsons Memorial Stadium as we kick off the bottom half of inning number 4. First pitch to Simpson's going to be a ball at 1 ball and no strikes. As we talked about this from Thursday night between Crane and Conway, Conway was actually down 4-0 going into the, I believe, the 6th inning. Or no, they were down 4-1 going into the 6th inning, or 4-2. So what do you think Conway's going to have to do to claw their way back into this game here against Morrisville?
Well, it's going to be just like what they just did. The thing is in high school baseball, you have to put the ball in play. If you put up the ball in play, good things are going to happen. That's what they did right there.
Hayden Graves.
That was a nice, hard ground ball to the second baseman. Tough for him to handle. And now you're staying on first base with a chance to put some more runs on the board.
Swinging a sky-high fly ball into foul territory. Catcher has it. Looked a bit risky there for those fans down by the third base dugout.
Yeah, and right there at the opening of the dugout, that's a tough place. You always worry about kids running too hard and running in the corner, but they did a good job, and catcher Hayden Grant made that play look easy.
Andrew Dame, the second baseman now as he comes up for the bottom half of inning number 4. And as we move to the top half of inning number 4, this Morrisville team's definitely going to have to keep pouring it on for these Morrisville Panthers and hopefully end this Crane Fall Wood Bat tournament with a run rule.
Yep, they're that's what, of course, the Bears are hoping that they can put some runs on the board here and not let that happen. But Morrisville's definitely going to want to come in the top of the 5th whenever they get in there and just keep piling on. Well, I tell you, this Bumgarner is looking like his namesake in San Francisco right now. He's throwing if you give an error to the second baseman on that first hit of the inning, he is throwing a one-hitter, or the only hit has been an infield single for the Bears so far.
1-2 as Dame strikes out. It's going to move the lineup now to their right fielder of Grant Corneliuson. Right fielder number 30, Grant Corneliuson. Grant Corneliuson, the batter for these Conway Bears, as he watches that first pitch come up for a ball 1-0. Definitely looking for first pitch balls if you are Corneliuson.
Yeah, you're going to want to take some pitches here, make sure you get what you really want to hit. And again, any way to get on base, and then that's one way to do it is to draw a walk. He's wanting to make, and especially, maybe make Bumgarner throw some pitches here and get him out of this game and get into the Panther bullpen.
Definitely get into that Panther bullpen, and I don't know if you ever played Morris. I don't know if you've played Morrisville as Galena, but how good is this Panther bullpen?
Well, it seems that they've been strong so far and able to come in and mop up any damage and try to finish games. Of course, they haven't needed it much because their hitters have given them so much cushion. Their starting pitchers have been able to go deep into games. So probably a little untested, but I would say that they have someone in the cupboard ready to go if they need them.
That 3-0 is going to be slapped, and that's going to be bobbled, and 2 outs now. Still 2 outs, right? Yes. Still 2 outs as runners are going to be now at first and second base. So something's cooking up in that Bears kitchen, isn't it? And that will bring up the catcher of Hayden Wright. Catcher number 7, Hayden Wright.
That just goes to show again, Adam. You put the ball in play, good things can happen. They have 2 runners on, and they've both reached on errors in this inning. So if you put the ball in play and make the defense try to get you out, you're going to have a chance.
Bumgarner has slowed down his time in between, or has increased his time in between pitches. So would that raise a red flag now for Coach Crumpley looking at his pitcher as he slows down his time in between pitches?
It could be. It could be also that he's compensating. He knows he's getting a little tired, so he's trying to slow things down just a little bit. Has runners on, wants to make sure and make the game come to him. But right there, he just 3 straight strikes and just struck out Hayden Wright on 3 pitches. And we're going to the top of the 5th inning. It is Morrisville 8, Conway 1.
Okay. Well, I sounded like a smoker on that one.
Yeah, that was
Rough.
real good.
Huh?
That was a real good one. All right. So
Yeah. Man, that calling 5 games, that really is going to tear your voice up.
Yeah.
What's this one? Oh, WWE.
Yeah. Finn Balor. Finn Balor.
Finn Balor.
Yeah.
The only ones I know of is John Cena and the Japanese one, that's Shinsuke Nakamura,
Mm-hmm.
the Rising Sun. WWE is always good to play. Get you hyped up for a game.
Yep.
What do you think of Crane's hype up before the first pitch?
I like that.
That's awesome.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Huh?
Is it Shinsuke Nakamura?
Shinsuke Nakamura, yeah.
Yeah.
The former, the popular, is he Japanese?
Yeah.
Japanese wrestler, yeah. Even though wrestling is fake,
Oh yeah, it's still fun to watch.
it's still fun to watch, yeah. So is MMA, mixed martial arts, UFC. Man.
Yeah, I've seen a few. I don't watch that much, but I've seen a few matches.
Oh yeah, those guys go at it, man.
I like watching the ones where it's just like the greatest knockouts, like where they
Like
do the show,
Floyd
and they just show
Mayweather
the greatest
versus
knockouts.
yeah, Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor.
Oh, that was good. I watched that pay-per-view.
Oh yeah, that's always a good fight to see. Designated hitter number 25, John Presley. Welcome back to Tootie Parsons Memorial Stadium. I see we have 2 likes now on our live stream. Thank you guys for the thumbs up. 7 people are watching as we enter the top half of inning number 5 as Presley will be...
A foul ball.
It will be a foul ball off of Presley's bat. Looked like it hit him, so that's one thing. It looks like it does hit the batter if it comes off the bat.
Yeah, he didn't pull his bat down out of the way on that one. He'd like to have that back because he has 1 strike on him, and it was headed for his head instead of his bat. And kind of hate that as a batter, but at the same time, I guess a foul ball is probably better than getting in the head. So
Definitely getting hit in the head. That is very scary. As
sure.
actually back, about 10 years ago, actually from right around here, a kid from Waynesville actually passed away after he was hit. I believe it was actually like in the spinal cord, like on his neck, and it's just heartbreaking. That if someone gets hit like right back in the head, that is very serious. You're in some serious trouble after that.
that's for sure. With all the injuries, head injuries that have come out in football and even baseball. I mean, you think of, even the pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals that made a comeback this year, Ponce de Leon, who took the ball off the forehead with the line drive, and I believe it was with the Iowa Cubs that he was playing against at the time. But it's just such a scary thing. There's no, that you think that helmet is going to do a job, but that's pretty thin plastic when you really think about it, and it's still going to rock your cage a little bit. So.
Oh yeah. 6. Center fielder number 6, Austin Franska. Austin Franska now the batter for the Morrisville Panthers as he is hit by the pitch. 2 outs here in the bottom half of inning, or top half of inning number 5. If you're Conway, you do not want to be making mistakes if you're down 8-1.
That's for sure. Just you want to keep runners off base. Good thing is they did get the first 2 outs quickly. Got a strikeout of Presley and a line out to third for Garrett Trantham. And now the hit by pitch to Franska. They're going to try to get Grant here. But this is a guy you want to be real careful with because he will change the score in a hurry.
Franska stealing second there easily. 1-0 on Hayden Grant. He's the third baseman. Third baseman number 5, Hayden Grant. Hayden Grant, the third baseman for these Morrisville Panthers. I don't know if you listened to Jock 98.7 this morning, but these guys were on Guy Newcomb's show, The Scoreboard Guy. And do you personally know the Scoreboard Guy?
I don't know him personally. I do follow him on Twitter and make sure, and anytime that we have scores, we make sure and get those to him because he does such a good job of getting those out there for us. He does a phenomenal job of covering high school sports here in Southwest Missouri. We couldn't ask for a better guy to go out there, and I'm sure I'll get to meet him. We're going to actually go to one of his shootouts, our high school basketball team this winter. So I hope to get to meet him there. Good guy from what I've heard and everything, and we just had a single to right field there. Scored 1.
Pitcher number 23, Joshua Bumgarner. And also if scores are mentioned to Scoreboard Guy, what are the chances of seeing OSR being mentioned on any scores from across Southwest Missouri?
It's getting more and more. I mean, everyone you talk to is kind of it took a while to get Ozarks Sports Report going, but you definitely start seeing more of that happen. And I know definitely after night I'm going to make sure that I do that so he can get my scores out there too. But that's another one. I think if we all work together and Scoreboard Guy and Ozark Sports Report, and we'll just do the best we can for Ozark Sports here in Southwest Missouri.
Definitely don't want to mention Ozark Sports Zone. First baseman number 13, Dylan Blem. Also don't want to mention Ozark Sports Zone as they air their shows on the Ozark CW and on KY3. And we also get your scores out to, of course, OSR, Ozark Sports Zone, KSBR Sports, and also Color 10 and Scoreboard Guy. And they also do a very good job as well.
They sure do. I mean, they've done a good job of covering sports. Of course, they're gonna go more regionally and everything, and mainly just cover high school sports. But then the other one I'd like to give a shout out to is Jeff Wall over there. That he runs the SWCL Sports Twitter handle and the website, and he does a good job with SWCL Sports and making sure that he's the voice for all SWCL Sports Junior High and high school, and that's good to get a little notoriety there too.
Swing a little chopper to the second baseman, and they will throw on the first, and they will get the third out. But one run comes across, and it's going to make it a 9-1 Morrisville lead. We go to the bottom of inning number 5. Time to score runs if you are Conway. It is 9-1 Morrisville all over Conway. Alrighty. Oh, it's password protected for you. Sorry, I had my sweaty hands on there.
Let's see. No, why don't I go with this?
Can't Stop the Feeling by JT. I hope they catch that guy who broke in here.
That'd be nice. I mean, it's going to be tough too. I'm sure they did a report. Hopefully took some fingerprints.
Oh, yeah.
I would say it was definitely someone that's amateur that has no clue. They probably left fingerprints all over the place.
But then they may have been watching my channel and then, like, ooh, what's this place? And then they find out.
Yeah, it's possible, I guess.
I mean, it's possible.
I'm gonna guess it was someone that was here at the game on Thursday night that saw.
That may have looked suspicious.
Yeah, or they, could see everything that was in here, and
they're like, oh, nice setup. I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thought, but maybe not.
Wow, 10 people are on right now. Good following. I think the game before that was probably gonna get a lot of views because I showed Kobe throwing the first pitch out. It's always a cool thing to see.
Yeah.
This 11. What's Conway's lineup? Here it is. Leading off the bottom of the 5th inning, the shortstop number 11, Colby Vavruska. Welcome back to Tootie Parsons Memorial Stadium as we kick off the bottom of the 5th inning. Colby Vavruska, the leadoff man for these Conway Bears, as he hustles it down the line. Beats the throw, and the throw beat him, and that's going to make it a 1 out quickly, and that's going to make it to the starting pitcher of Chase Caffey. Now batting number 12, Chase Caffey. Chase Caffey, the batter, he started the game off on the mound. First pitch to him is going to be a ball at 1-0. Now, Coach Martin, what have you seen from Chase Caffey, both defensively and offensively?
Well, he struck out his first at bat here tonight, and he walked his first at bat, struck out the second. He's tough out. He's going to look to see some pitches and see what he can do.
2-0 the count on Ian Caffey as he is now ahead in the count. 2 balls, no strikes. And he will draw the walk, so something's brewing again here for these Conway Bears as they intensified in the late stages of their last ball game against Crane. Left fielder number 21, Logan Fort. Logan Fort, the batter for these Conway Bears, and we're getting into the later stages of this ball game. And in the last game Conway played here in Crane, these guys were electric.
Yeah, especially in the late innings, they started hitting. Fort right here has the lone RBI for the Bears in a ground out in the first inning. So we'll see if he can't move this runner around and keep the line moving, and see if he can either get an RBI here or put himself in a position to score himself.
0-2 pitch to Fort as he will swing and line that one. That will go foul. So 0-2 the count on Logan Fort here with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 9-1 Morrisville all over Conway. Checked his swing, and they get him and call him safe, but Fort's going to strike out. So good job on both ends of that at bat. It's going to bring up Jimmy Shockley, now the new pitcher. Pitcher number 9, Jimmy Shockley.
And Jimmy Shockley struck out 2 times, but he looked pretty good against Crane, especially in those later stages of the game. Just a quick update from Kansas City. Kansas City still leading 10-3. That's a final now from Kauffman Stadium as the Kansas City Royals defeat the Minnesota Twins 10-3.
10-3 the final score there from Kansas City as the Royals are victorious over the Minnesota Twins. As we believe the winning pitcher from that was Ian Kennedy, who got his second win of the season. Losing pitcher would be the name of DeYoung. Can't think of the name. I believe it's Chris DeYoung from Minnesota. So now if we move now to the other side of the state, to St. Louis, do you think these Cardinals have a shot in the playoffs?
Well, I sure hope they have one more run in them to try to make sure and make the playoffs. Right now they're a game out, and they just haven't been hitting the ball very well here lately. So, and then giving up 17 runs today. I tell you, I know in the last couple innings, just kind of on mop-up duty, Weaver did not look well. And his last outing was not good either, as he almost had to be rescued after the Cardinals had a big lead. And he came in and on mop-up duty, and then he almost got to the point where he needed to be rescued out of that. So Weaver may be on his last days as pitching in the bullpen in any important situations for the Cardinals.
swung on and missed, and that will end the inning for the Conway Bears as they go down silently here in the bottom of the 5th inning. We go to the top of the 6th inning. It's getting late for Conway. They are trailing 9-1. Score to tell you about from Kauffman Stadium here in Kansas City as the Kansas City Royals defeat the Minnesota Twins by a final score of 10-3. Ian Kennedy got his second win on the season. Ian Kennedy, man, he struggled a lot this season is what I saw.
Yeah. Wasn't he injured for a big part of it?
I think so. I wonder how the Diamondbacks and no, not Diamondbacks, Rockies and Giants. I wonder how they did.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that's the team that those Rockies is the team that we should be worried about because if they lose, then that puts us up at half a game out of the wild card.
Half game out of the wild card, yeah.
Yeah.
That'll put the Dodgers up in the West. They'll be winning the
Oh, that
West.
would?
Yeah.
Oh, so that could take them out of the wild card and put them in the league because that National League West it's basically like a three-way fist fight.
Yeah, well, and then Central too with us.
Central, yeah, Cardinals, Brewers, and
Central
Cubs.
West.
I mean, Cubs are definitely gonna. I feel the Cubs are gonna run away with it again.
Yeah, things could get ugly in the last few weeks here.
Do you think that in the offseason that the Cubs might get rid of some of their star power like Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, Javier Baez, so on and so forth now?
I doubt it.
Nope.
I don't even know what free agents they have.
Me neither.
Yeah, they didn't terminate it. I think it's time to go anyway.
Yeah, doesn't matter that much. Is this 14 for, there we go.
Braden Grant.
Catcher number 14, Braden Grant. Welcome back to the Ozarks Sports Report YouTube channel. Here from Tootie Parsons Memorial Stadium in downtown Crane, Missouri. After this game is completed, we will not be streaming on Monday. We will actually be streaming on Tuesday as we will be traveling, not from Tootie Parsons Memorial Stadium, but from another ballpark just down the road in Galena. There'll be some SWCL action going on from Tootie Parsons Memorial Stadium. 0-1 pitch is now quickly at 0-2, no balls, 2 strikes on Braden Grant, the catcher. And what have you seen so far during this game for Grant?
Grant, in his first at bat in the first inning, he singled down the line, down the left field line, and scored 2. Got 2 RBIs on that. And he's been hit by pitch his last 2 at bats, and almost got hit on that one. That would have been something 3 at bats to be put on base by hit by pitch. He kind of has a magnet thing going on, looks like.
2-2 the count on Braden Grant. He is the catcher for these Morrisville Panthers. Score update to tell you about, actually not from baseball but from football, as Missouri State got another win as they defeated Northern Arizona by a score of 40-8, and that will bring up Levi Nelson, right fielder number 9, Levi Nelson. After that big loss to Oklahoma State from Missouri State, what do you think What do you think you'll see go on from Missouri State?
Well, we'll sure see. I mean, we had, of course, the big win we had last week against, I think that was actually like a Thursday night game or Friday night or something. It was a weird night, but against those the team from Lincoln, I think they're a Division II or something like that. And then this team, Northern Arizona, was touted as being a good match against the Bears, and looks like the Bears came out and gave them all they could handle and came away with a big win. It'd be nice to see Coach Steckel really be successful here in this. I think it's his 4th season as coach. He's just kind of getting into seeing what his recruits and kind of what they can do.
And then now we talk about staying in the same boat as football as we move on to the NFL, as it will be played tomorrow. The Kansas City Chiefs will be in Pittsburgh as they will take on those Pittsburgh Steelers. And what do you think is going to be played between Kansas City and Pittsburgh?
It's always been a close game between the Steelers and Chiefs, and it seems like the Steelers always come out on top.
Shortstop number 4, Ty Haynes.
Unfortunately, being a Chiefs fan, I kind of see the Steelers coming in a little with a little bit of a bad taste in their mouth after that tie against the Browns last week.
Yeah, definitely that tie against the Browns, as Tyrod Taylor actually threw an interception that could have won the game for Cleveland if it was caught for a touchdown.
And the missed field goal, I mean, the Browns had every chance they could to win that game, and they couldn't quite put it away.
Now back to baseball, 0-1, now 1-1 the count on Ty Haynes. He is the shortstop for these Marion C. Early Morrisville Panthers. Score update actually from one of the big games going on in college football. It's Ohio State and TCU. TCU was coming in that game, I believe, ranked number 15th in the nation, and Ohio State ranked 4th in the nation. So right now it's TCU 21-13 right now over Ohio State, and that's kind of a surprise, isn't it?
It is a little bit of a surprise, but I tell you that TCU defense is good. I mean, they're by far the best defensive team in the Big 12, which some years wouldn't be saying much, but these Horned Frogs are gonna cause some troubles, and it looks like they are so far for the Ohio State offense.
Ohio State also without their head coach of Urban Meyer. It's their last game that they'll have without Meyer. And what are your thoughts on that?
Well,
Designated hitter number 25, John Presley.
You know, I don't think that he necessarily did anything wrong other than the fact that, you know, he was a little dishonest. You know, there's no rule against being dishonest with the media, but he put himself in a bad situation, I believe, instead of just being honest about it and you know, just telling the truth. He wanted to try to keep things a little bit on the mum, I think, for the university, when obviously the information had already been leaked, and he could have just came out and been truthful. Now, my question is how much did that really have to do with the athletic director there, Geno Smith, I believe, at Ohio State, as far as him staying quiet? Was he told to do that, or was that a decision that Myers made on his own?
A lot of answers to be told about. Now back to this game, as John Presley, as he watched the first pitch come into him at ball 1-0. John Presley's had a hot night tonight there at the dish tonight for these Marion C. Early Panthers, hasn't he?
He sure has. He's doubled down the left, doubled to left center. That was a big hit for him. He scored 2, I believe, back in I want to say that was the 4th inning. He struck out in the 5th, but he's looking to rebound from that and see if he can't drive in a couple runs here in the top of the 5th.
Top of the 5th inning. This game's gone by pretty quick, hasn't it? Pardon me, top of the 6th. This game's gone by pretty quick. Another base hit's going to be for Presley. That's going to score 2. Yes, it is, and it's going to make it now an 11-1 Morrisville lead. And with Morrisville the visiting team, then that means that Conway's going to be down to its last chance. So what's Conway going to have to do to erase that 10-run deficit?
Well, first of all, they want to stop this right here. They don't want to get it anymore. And then they're going to have to come in the bottom of this inning, and they're going to want to score at least 1 run to keep this thing going and give themselves a chance in the 7th. Looks like they're talking it over here on the mound, see what they can't do. Looks like he may be bringing in a new pitcher.
Yes, he will. And I think at 18, that was, I think Corey McBride, is that right? Corey McBride, I believe, for the Conway Bears, as he'll be the new pitcher for, Corey McBride. So what do you think? What have you seen? Have you faced this guy for Conway?
Sure haven't. I don't know anything about Mr. McBride. He is a sophomore, so he's going to come in here and see if he can't stop the bleeding and give his team a chance to come back and do some damage here and win, come back and have one of those big comeback victories like they did against the Pirates on Thursday.
Against those Pirates, as Crane actually was coming into that game. I believe they were up 4-2, and they blew that lead, and Conway took that win. I believe that was 10-4 Conway over Crane, even though it was not an enjoying night for Coach Brian Harmon after that. But tonight his Pirates did get to rebound, and they knocked off Galena by a score of 11-3. So hopefully we could see Conway maybe tack on a run or two. It's possible. I mean, you don't have to go in there and just get the 3 outs. Do you think you could see Bumgarner coming in for one more inning of work?
I think I'd actually be surprised if he didn't come out for the bottom of the 6th. He's pitched well so far. He's kept his pitch count low. I would say he's probably in the 60s to 70s maybe. I would say he's at least got one more good inning in him to try to finish this game. As right now there's a 10-run differential, and still the Panthers are still looking to tack on more here as they have a runner on second with 1 out.
And that 10-run rule that Morrisville has. And the thing is about pitch count. What is the limit that high school pitchers can pitch as opposed to Major League Baseball pitchers, minor leagues, and college?
It's on a graduated scale, and it also depends on if you're a junior or a senior, or if you're a freshman or sophomore. I believe freshmen and sophomores, I think they get, it's either 95 or 100 that they get, and that's a 5-day total. And I know that seniors and juniors, they can pitch 110, and then they rest for 5 days. If you throw a less amount of pitches, you can take, maybe you have to have a 2-day rest or a 3-day rest.
Garrett Trantham.
And then come back, and that's how you work some of your relievers. If they maybe only throw 40 pitches or whatever, they can get a couple days rest and then come back and throw another game later on.
And now we move on from college. I don't know if you've seen college baseball or not before, but what's their pitch limit?
I don't really think they have any limits. I mean, it's kind of whatever the coach thinks. And you've seen some of those guys. They might start one day, and then if they're in the College World Series or looking to go to the College World Series, they'll come back the next day and try to close the game out. So those guys have pretty strong arms. Does it hurt them? It's possible.
Center fielder number 6, Austin Franska.
Being a coach, I like to be pretty careful with my guys. I don't want them to throw too many pitches. I want to make sure that they keep their arms rested. Especially if they have the potential to go on to the next level, you don't want to hurt it. And you also want to keep them fresh for the next game too.
I bet that same rule goes to show with Major League Baseball and minor league baseball, doesn't it?
Yeah, they don't really have a pitch count that they're held to, but just kind of rule of thumb, they get to that 100 pitch mark and you start wanting to get them out of there. You don't want them to go much more than that.
We saw one local kid come out of Aurora High School just down the road here from Crane who was drafted by the Texas Rangers. That was Wyatt Sparks, and he led his team all the way to the state championship and won the state championship. I believe it was 2 consecutive years for Aurora. Two consecutive years for Aurora. And you think you could see Dylan Sparks make it all the way to the big league level?
I sure do. I mean, I was a little surprised whenever he decided to go ahead and
number 5,
and go on and sign instead of playing it out there at Missouri State. But I certainly understand these kids nowadays. They get those big bonuses if they sign, and it's understandable. But he's such a great kid. Quite honestly, I taught him in 6th grade whenever I was over at Aurora. You couldn't ask for a more humble kid. I really hope for the best for him as he joins the Texas Rangers organization.
1 ball, no strikes now on Hayden Grant, the third baseman for the Morrisville Marion C. Early Panthers. These Panthers come out of Polk County right by Bolivar. 1-0 is going to be swung on, and that was a laser foul. 1-1 the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out on Hayden Grant. And out of all these games that you have seen in this Crane Fall Wood Bat tournament, what do you think was your favorite game out of this tournament so far?
Well, I think that so far the most competitive game that I've seen is the game between the Bears and the Conway Bears and Crane. I mean, that was a great game there till the end, and unfortunately, Conrad, he kind of lost his gas there a little bit, and then whenever they brought in Quick, he was just unable to get some outs, and Conway had that big inning. But other than that, it was a good close game all the way through.
Bumgarner. And now as we head on to the bottom of the sixth inning, the next half inning coming up, what is going to be the task for Morrisville to do as they take the field against Conway?
Yeah, and it's a 12-1 game right now, and Zach's had 11 runs, and I had forgot about the fact that now there's 9 runs in 6 innings, so they can give up a total of, looks like, 2 runs here and still get the so they're going to want to get out of it in the bottom half of this inning without giving up any more than 2 runs so they can end the night, save their pitchers, not have to go anywhere else other than hopefully Bumgarner here can get the last outs.
That's going to play 2. And another one's going to come in. That's going to make it now a 15-1 Morrisville lead. So it's going to be a long night for Conway. And this night's not even over yet for Conway. And that's going to bring up the first baseman of Dylan Blim. First baseman number 13, Dylan Blim. So yeah, back to what I was saying, it's going to be a long night for Conway.
For sure, that's going to leave a bad taste in their mouth for sure if they can't come back in this one. They fought so hard to get here. Played some really good games. They played some close games. They had to win in the 8th inning on both of their pool games to come out of there 2-0. They defeated the Blue Eye Bulldogs 3-2 on a walk-off in the 8th inning, and then did the same thing against the Bears later on that night.
1-0 count on Dylan Blim as another run came in, and that's going to make it now 16-1 Morrisville. And so what I've seen from this Morrisville team from from last spring now into this fall is this team is definitely rebuilt.
Yeah, and quite honestly, I think they only lost 1 or 2 to graduation. Other than that, they had their best hitter back in Grant, and their pitching has been very good tonight with Bumgarner. And I know they've had good pitching all tournaments. So this could be a team to look for in May in the spring, because they have done a great job here down at the Crane Woodbat tournament. And
could you see a state title coming up to Morrisville, because they've not won a state title since 2002. So you think it's time for Morrisville to bring home a state title?
I think they have a strong chance. I mean, obviously they're going to run into some very good teams in New Covenant and Mansfield, and then hopefully the Pirates and the Bears, Galena Bears, both both get it together and are able to compete in the spring with some of these teams. But they definitely have as good a chance as anyone to make it, to make a run for that state title. They'll face some tough teams along the way, but they have a chance to get there, I believe.
Sky high fly ball, and there's finally the second out here of this inning, and that's going to bring up, that is Joshua Bumgarner. No, pardon me, that is going to bring up Braden Grant. Catcher number 14, Braden Grant. Braden Grant, the catcher for these Morrisville Panthers. And so yeah, this team's going to be a deadly team come up this spring. So what do you think is going to happen in this SWCL with Crane, Galena, Blue Eye, Billings, Sparta, Spokane, newcomers of Southwest, and Purdy?
Yeah, I think you have kind of this year you have your top 3. I'd have to say that Purdy and Crane and Galena are up there. Real solid teams. A lot of the other teams are a little bit down, and unfortunately Sparta didn't even field the team this fall. So we'll see what happens with them in the spring. But they kind of looked at them as a team that could have done something this year, but for some reason they didn't have enough to field the team here in the fall.
And also, how tough is that for a coach to recruit new players every single school year before every single school year? How tough is that to ask players to come play for their team?
You want to build some tradition, and that's the big thing. And I know here at or over at Galena. Last year we had a lot of kids come out just because of what they had done the year before and how they had won districts and gone on and been a game short of the Final Four. So you had a lot of kids that want to come out and be a part of that. That's what you really have to do is build tradition, show that you have the chance to succeed.
Right fielder number 9, Levi Nelson.
That's when the kids start coming out of the woodwork. I remember back when the Crane Lady Pirates, they'd have 6 or 7 out for a season, and now you get 15 to 20 kids just because they've been so successful here as of late.
Definitely give that praise to the head coach of the Crane Lady Pirates basketball team, Coach Jeremy Mullins, as he's built a dynasty here in Crane. And you can say on his resume, he's got 4 state titles to be proud of.
That's unprecedented. I mean, 4 straight titles. That puts him right up there with some of the greats that have taken teams.
4, Ty Haynes.
You think of Tony, can't remember his last name, from Stockton, that took those teams multiple years in a row to state championships, and even the Kevin Cheeks from Skyline, who have taken probably anywhere from 10 out of the last 15 years. They've been in at least near the Final Four up there. So that's elite air for Coach Jeremy Mullins to be in, and he's a great coach. He's there. He's had a lot of good support along the way too.
Also, the other thing with with Skyline is when Crane had that dynasty, that was Skyline's roadblock. That was Crane, and I believe it was in the pink and white. I believe 2015 when 2014 when Skyline and Crane played in the pink and white tournament there at Drury, and Skyline actually beat Crane in that game. Weren't you there at that game?
I was not there, but I was listening to it on the radio, and I remember thinking Coach Mullins is going to have him ready next time he played him, and sure enough, he did. I think that year we faced him in the semifinal game, not the championship, and he had those girls ready to play, and they won the championship again that year.
Went on to win the championship, and then now it's Skyline who's improved. You can tell they have learned from Crane. They've watched Crane. They've learned from their mistakes, as we're going to see another pitching change here in the top half of inning number 6 as Coach Clay. We might see another pitching change, and we could see because Coach Clay excuse me, as Coach Clay Blue is going to go out to the mound and make a pitching change. I could tell you 7 runs, and it is just turned downright ugly for these Conway Bears, as this Mooresville team is playing with a lot of fire, hasn't they?
It sure is. I mean, they just keep on hitting, and you had a hitter like Braden Grant that was just up there at the plate. He had struck out as the first batter in the inning, and he didn't want to go down as the last out after making the first, so he was able to work himself into a walk right here. And now it looks like you have a new pitcher coming into the game, and that's going to be
Earls.
Yeah, number 27, Trey Earls. He's a sophomore also.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Conway Bears, number 27, Trey Earls. Now coming this late in the ballgame, you're down 16-1. You're gonna start running out of players that are on your bench, and what's one thing that Coach Blue is going to do to make sure he does not run out of players on his bench?
Well, quite honestly, he probably the pitcher that was out there before, he probably wanted to have him ready for sometime early next week in a league game, say, or something, because he got him out of there probably, I would say, after about 25 pitches. So he's probably thinking, I'm going to need that arm. So we have Earls coming in here in the game, mop-up duty, and he just wants him to try to be efficient here and get him out of the inning and see if they can't come in and get some of those runs back to keep this game alive.
2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. Well, this game could come to an end after this 6th inning. So with Earls here, what is going to be the main subject? What's Conway going to have to do to send this game to the 7th inning?
Well, to start out with, very simply, they're going to have to go in and score 6 runs and not give up any more.
Chance Hampton.
Because that's the only way, actually, usually 7 runs, actually. That's the only way that they'll be able to get this back within 8. and then of course the run rule being 9 after 6. That's where they're gonna have to get it to keep this game going. So you got to get out of it with no more damage, go in and score 7 runs, and try to extend the game.
Definitely try to extend that game, score 7 runs, but it's not going to be easy because who knows? We could see Bumgarner come out in the next half inning of play, as it's going to be Conway's last chance. And as you know, if you heard this time for this saying from Yoda from Star Wars, it's do or do not, there is no try.
That's right. I mean, and that's what Bumgarner's going to be thinking whenever he goes back out there is like, he doesn't want to, he wants to give his 100% effort and just make it, just to finish this game off because he's pitched so well so far. Only giving up, I believe it's been very little hits. Let me see if I can figure this out here. Best I can tell, he's given up 2 hits, and one of them was an infield hit. So he's going to want to try to finish that off and only give up 2 hits and get out of this game and with a good victory and a Crane Woodbat Tournament Championship.
Definitely something to bring back home to Morrisville, as that's going to end the top half of inning number 6. Finally, after 7 runs have come across the diamond, an eventful sixth inning, and looks like the Morrisville Panthers are 3 outs away from a Crane Tournament Championship, heading to Morrisville. We're going to see as we go to the bottom of the sixth inning. It's a 16-1. Call it a 16-1 Morrisville lead over Conway. Oh, you can feel the vibration right there. That's going to be Andrew Dame, and it's going to be the bottom of the lineup for Conway. So we'll kind of talk about the bottom of the lineup for Conway. Ask you what they've done.
Yeah, Andrew Dame.
Andrew Dame
had an infield hit.
Andrew Dame had an infield hit.
Yeah, they reached on an error. Cornelison reached on an error in the 4th.
Leading out the bottom of the 6th inning for these Conway Bears, the second baseman number 6, Andrew Dame. Welcome back to Tootie Parsons Memorial Stadium as we kick off the bottom half of inning number 6. Last chance for these Conway Bears as they trail 16-1. Bottom of the order coming up for the Conway Bears, and that's going to be Andrew Dame. And what's Andrew Dame done so far in this game?
He did have the first hit of the game with an infield hit, but I tell you, this bottom 3 has 4 strikeouts in their six at bats. So that's what Bumgarner is going to look to try to mow through these guys here, and he gets a ground ball to his second baseman right there for the out. Bumgarner, I like this guy. He was the first one on the field in the bottom of the 6th there. He was ready to go.
You could tell he really wanted that baseball. So that will bring up, that is, I believe, Grant Corneliuson, the right fielder for Conway. Right fielder number 30, Grant Corneliuson. Bumgarner quickly starts the at-bat. It is 1-0. And Bumgarner is back at it again with the short time in between pitches.
Yeah, he's raring to go. He's not gonna leave anything to chance. He's just gonna roll out there. And of course, there's a little bit of difference. You want to keep your defense fresh by going fast, but at the same time, you want to make sure they're ready behind you. He's quickly out to a 1-2 count on Cornelison here, who reached on an error in his last at bat in the 4th inning.
1-2 count, as that's going to be the next fly ball. Next out is going to be a pop up, and the Bears are down to their last out of the ball game. 16-1 Morrisville. Here we go. Second baseman number 6, Andrew Dame.
No, so it's catcher Hayden Ryan. No, that's right.
Yeah.
What happened? We must have messed up there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well. So, Andrew Dame now up. We messed up on that. That was Tanner Simpson, Hayden Graves, and Andrew Dame. So, pardon me. That was the middle of, well, kind of like middle to later stages of the lineup, as Andrew Dame is the final hope for these Conway Bears, and he is quickly down to his last strike. Bears down to their last strike, 16-1, Conway. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. The last pitch, swinging him as strike 3, and the Marion C. Early Panthers are the Crane Fall Wood Bat champions of 2018. We'll be right back after these messages as we will present the trophy, both trophies for Conway and Morrisville. So stick around after this. Trophy presentation just now wrapping up, as we will wrap up this live stream. But now we're going to have the post-game interview with the head coach of the Morrisville Panthers, of Coach Justin Crumpley. So we're going to ask that you stick around for the next few moments as we will bring in Coach Justin Crumpley for this Crane, as the Crane Fall Wood Bat Tournament champion of the 2018 Crane Fall Wood Bat Tournament champion. All right, thank you for helping me today.
Yeah, man.
So looks
Thanks
like
for
I'll
having
see
us.
you on Tuesday.
Yeah, I should be over there.
All right. Will you be too busy on Tuesday since it's a home game to do color?
We'll have a baseball or basketball practice
Oh yeah, so
until about 5:30, but I'll see if I can sneak down
Okay.
A little early and work with you.
oh, there goes the Sorrel guy.
You can tell Coach Harmon I didn't take the stats with me that I threw
Okay.
away in the trash can, okay?
You would just throw it away.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, we should double lock this so no one breaks into this place again.
Yeah.
The last thing we need is someone to break in and steal stuff.
Yep.
All right. Does this cord just get on a hook from the back of the speaker?
No idea.
He just told me to come up here and help.
Johnny told me to do too.
Or does it on hook?
I don't know how to get this out. I really don't want to do this, bro. This is gonna be heavy.
I know, I gotta figure out.
Oh shit.
I don't know how I unhooked the speaker. Is there a cord for it?
No idea.
It says right here. Is everything getting out? I have no idea how to unhook the speaker.
Oh, God.
All I know is just the cord out. It's weird. How do you take these stills down here? How do you take these stills down? Isaac? How do you take these down?
I have no idea. Oh, I think I know how.
I just don't know. And then they latch up there.
I don't know how to get the speakers.
Me either.
Go all the way down, I do.
What?
Does Roman have the key for this?
Yeah, he does. Okay. Oh, my phone fell down.
Adam,
Yeah.
how do you unhook the speaker?
I don't know. That's not my question. Alrighty. Here we go. Welcome back to Tootie Parsons Memorial Stadium. I'm with a champion of the Spring Fall Woodbat Tournament, the head coach of the Morrisville Marion C. Early Panthers, Coach Justin Crumpley, after another huge win against these Conway Bears, 16-1. Coach, what was the main focus going into this game for you guys against the Conway Bears?
It was really about the same as every game we've played this week. We were really just focused on our pitcher coming out and being as efficient as possible and throwing a lot of strikes early in the game. And I thought he struggled a little bit early. He threw a lot of first pitch balls, worked a lot of full counts, but he really settled in late in the game and was able to close it for us, finish it. He finished it, I think he started that last batter at 103 pitches, ended the game at 106. So he did a tremendous job. Defense made plays behind him, and our offense just been exceptional the last few days. I hope we can continue with our momentum right now. But guys in the lineup, I can't say enough about it. 1 through 9 have just been coming up big. There has not been a hole in our lineup all week long.
Joshua Bumgarner, who was your starter tonight, had 6 innings of complete ball and not only allowing just 1 run. What was his emotions going into this game for this Crane Fall Woodbat Tournament Championship game?
I think he was just revved up. He was excited about the opportunity. He's kind of one of our guys, so we go to him in big situations. We know that he's going to compete for us every time we get him out there on the mound, and he did an extremely good job tonight. I thought his velocity was up tonight, and he was amped up, ready to go. It took him a little while to find his off speed, but once he found his off speed and got settled in, that's when he really started started being able to handle their hitters for the most part, and kept us out of pressure situations. Our defense did not have to make too many big pressure plays tonight, so that was good.
You guys go and play Hartville. I believe that's going to be at Hartville. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
That's going to be at Hartville. What is going to be the main subject? What's going to be the big key that's going to help bring another win to you guys against Hartville?
Well, that's a big game for us. Hartville is our only loss on the season so far. They beat us at Hartville in the first round of the Summit Conference Tournament this year. And they're a good team. They're a senior-heavy team. They've got some good arms. We did feel like we did not compete at our highest level when we played them, so we're excited for the opportunity to get a rematch, and we're hoping to go up there and play a little better game than we did the first go-around. And I think, if we can continue to build off our momentum that we've ended here with tonight, I think we'll definitely play a little better game come Monday.
If you have any final words to say to the coach of the Conway Bears, Coach Clay Blue, and the coach of the Crane Pirates, Coach Brian Harmon, who has hosted this entire tournament at 3 sites in Crane, Galena, and Purdy, what would your words be to both those coaches the coach that you played tonight of Coach Clay Blue and Coach Brian Harmon here at Crane?
I love both those guys, man. They're great coaches, great guys on and off the field. Known Clay a long time, known Brian ever since I've been coaching. We've been in this tournament ever since I've been here. I think we've been in it since this tournament started. So got to know Brian really well. He puts on a great tournament. This is one of our favorite tournaments of the year. Love coming in it, love the wood bats. So he did a great job with that. And Clay, same. We're in the Conway tournament. We've always been in the Conway tournament since I've been coaching in Morrisville. So have a great relationship with him. He's a great coach. He puts quality teams on the field every year. So he's one of the better guys around doing it. Conway's a powerhouse. Every year they don't get beat too bad like that very often. And he's a little young, but he's very athletic. And we didn't see their best pitching tonight. We got them again next week on Thursday. I guarantee you we're going to see a better arm, and it's going to be a lot different outcome on the scoreboard as far as runs scored. So,
if any final words to say thanks for taking the time with us, Coach Crumpley. Congratulations on that Crane Fall Wood Bat Tournament Championship, and best of luck to you guys against Conway.
Thanks, Adam. I appreciate it, man. Yep.
Coach Justin Crumpley, after a huge Crane Fall Wood Bat Tournament Championship, and that's going to wrap up these live stream games that were streamed here live at Crane for the Crane Fall Wood Bat Tournament. And anybody who wants to join in, we will be streaming our next game on Tuesday, which it will come from Galena, so we will not be here at Tootie Parsons Memorial Stadium, as we'll be on the road at Galena. So we like for you guys to join into that live stream. So for any of you guys who have chimed into this Crane Fall Wood Bat Tournament live stream, all games that were played, we like to say thank you for tuning in and giving us all the thumbs up, all the views and likes. And for one final time, I want to say to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube channel, check out our website. Our website is Ozarks Sports Report, our website.com/Ozarks Sports Report. And for one final time, I'm Adam Smith from the Ozarks Sports Report saying thank you all for tuning in, and have a good day, everybody.